In this series, I analyze the major arcana of the tarot. What is the overarching theme? In what system can be grouped the 22 cards? Firstly, let's have an overview about the history of the tarot. Does it really come from the ancient Egypt? Does it truly conceal hidden, authentic wisdom? Let's embark on an exploration of the tarot, specifically the rich symbolism woven into the major arcana. These 22 cards are more than just images. They are a rich tapestry of archetypes, guiding us through life's deepest questions. The tarot's origins trace back to northern Italy, with the earliest known decks appearing around 1440. These were the hand-painted Visconti-Sforza cards, commissioned by the Duke of Milan, featuring intricate artwork and were a luxury item enjoyed by the nobility. The cards were used for a trick-taking game called Tarocchi or Cartes à Triomphe, Cards of Triumphs. Over time, the use of tarot cards spread across Europe, reaching France, Switzerland, and other regions. The so-called Tarot of Marseille, documented as early as 1597, became the dominant tarot design throughout Europe, and it stands as one of the oldest and most authentic versions. While the name suggests a French origin, the earliest versions were likely adaptations of Italian designs that crossed the Alps through trade routes. The Marseille deck established the first standardized iconography that would define tarot imagery for centuries to come. The Marseille deck has some distinctive features. Woodblock printed illustrations with bold, limited color palettes, primarily red, blue, yellow, and green. Highly stylized figures with distinctive medieval and Renaissance artistic elements. Consistent symbolic imagery across the major arcana that established the archetypal representations. Latin numerals 1 through 21 marking the major arcana cards, with the full often unnumbered. Unlike later esoteric decks, the Marseille cards preserve the original symbolic language of tarot before occult reinterpretations, offering us the closest connection to tarot's historical roots. Among the most respected historical variants of the Marseille tradition is the Claude Burdel deck, created in 1751 in Fribourg, Switzerland. Burdel was a master card maker whose workshop produced some of the finest examples of the Marseille tradition. The Lo Scarabeo publishing house has reproduced this deck, bringing Burdel's craftsmanship to modern audiences. Tarot historians particularly value the Burdel deck because it represents the Marseille tradition at its artistic peak, before later decks began incorporating more esoteric modifications. Its aesthetic consistency and historical authenticity make it an ideal reference point for studying the symbolic language of tarot. The complete tarot deck consists of two main sections. The major arcana contains 22 cards, which depict powerful archetypal figures and spiritual principles like the magician, the high priestess, the emperor, and so on, culminating in the word, which is usually interpreted as fulfillment and completion. These cards form a sequence often called the Fool's Journey, interpreted as fundamental human experiences and transformative stages in our life's journey, from innocence and discovery, the Fool, to fulfillment and wholeness, the Word. The minor arcana consists of 56 cards divided into 4 suits: cups, swords, wands, and coins. These handle everyday dynamics, complementing the major's grandeur. Together, they form a complete map of human experience. The transformation of tarot from a card game to a divination system began primarily through the work of Antoine de Gébelin and Jean-Baptiste Alliette, known as Etteilla. In 1781, de Gébelin claimed the tarot originated in ancient Egypt and contained hidden wisdom, and this theory sparked widespread interest in tarot as a repository of esoteric knowledge. Etteilla published the first deck specifically designed for divination in 1789 and wrote accompanying interpretive guidebooks. By the 19th century, occultists like Eliphas Lévi deepened this connection, tying the Major Arcana to spiritual evolution and the Minor Arcana to daily conscience. Later, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, an influential occult society in Britain, further developed tarot's esoteric associations. Members, including Crowley and Waite, created their own decks that incorporated Kabbalah, alchemy, and other mystical systems into the tarot framework. Despite these later esoteric developments, the Marseille tradition remains critically important for understanding tarot's original symbolic language before occult reinterpretations. Its imagery provides the foundation upon which all subsequent variants of the Major Arcana have been built, making it essential for any serious study of tarot symbolism. The psychological dimension of tarot was later emphasized by Carl Jung, who viewed the Major Arcana as representations of universal archetypes from the collective unconscious. This perspective shifted tarot interpretation toward personal growth and self-understanding rather than mere fortune-telling. Today, many people turn to the tarot not just for fortune-telling, but also for introspection, creative inspiration, and counseling. The Major Arcana in particular are rich in symbolism, making them popular tools for self-analysis and personal development. Questions often asked about these 22 archetypal images include how they mirror our internal processes, how they can guide personal transformation, and how their timeless symbolism resonates with modern life. In the following parts, I analyze the symbols of the Major Arcana of the Tarot of Marseille, its Burdel version in the Los Carabeo edition. I found this the most detailed, complete, and consistent version. The next part details the overall system of the 22 cards of the Major Arcana.